Well, welcome to Hamilton County TV and welcome to the Jake Gilbert Show. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks for having me, Perry.
Well, round one, the sectionals are over. You came out victorious against Noblesville 49-6. The Millers did score the first time they had the ball, but after that it was all Westfield, and you were clicking on all cylinders, even in the rain.
Yeah, I'm so proud of our guys. I just thought we were ready. You know, there was all kinds of excuses there for that being some kind of trap game. I mean, we had a bye week the week before. We weren't in school. Looking forward to HSE. We had beaten Noblesville once. All those kinds of excuses. But the focus of our guys was tremendous, and so I thought that was a great show of maturity for our team to come out and play the best we can play in that moment. The rain, you know, all those reasons that you may have a built-in excuse, we used none of them, and our guys instead were locked in and focused and played great.
You know, Coach, a comment about that, about your team being focused and everything. You come a little short last year and got beat by Center Grove in the championship game, but you know, thinking back 4 years ago when we were sitting in your office here at Westfield and we were doing interviews, and you were really excited about this senior class, which were freshmen back then, okay?
Right.
You had some very, very talented players, and I even made the comment because of interviewing you for so many years, and Micah Hauser, a freshman on a varsity roster and playing football, and you know, you basically told me that's not normal what you do.
Right.
He's a pretty special kid.
Right.
And here 4 years later, you know, you've got many special kids on this team. So, you know, this is not something that was built back. I mean, this has been built up a long time, you know, and you knew back 4 years ago, or maybe in the 7th, 8th grade, this senior class was very, very important to your program.
Well, my oldest son's a senior. He doesn't play for us anymore, but he, when we came, he was in 2nd grade. So I've known so many of these kids for 10 years, and how exciting it is. That's the best part of it for me, is the development, to see, you know, you reap what you sow, but to see that happen in the individual player's life as they become a man and they become a great player and they develop and all those things. And then holistically, when that happens as a team, how exciting, you know, and you see these guys. I remember all of it. So youth football, the travel years, the middle school, and the excitement that we could be good if we don't screw it up. And you know, these guys are they've accomplished some great things and made history in some areas, and hopefully still have a lot more to go.
Absolutely, Coach. Well, this week a little bit different. Back on September 19th, you played Hamilton Southeastern and beat them pretty handily, 42-13. But you know, there's a couple months went by. You know, and talking to Coach Kelly yesterday, and in the interview, which will be aired this afternoon, you know, he talks about the growth and the success of him building the program over there with, just like you always talk, with a great staff.
Yep.
You can't do it by yourself. You got to have a great staff. So you know as well as I do, and I know that this veteran team of yours, those seniors know that every game's important come playoffs. So let's talk a little bit about that. 42-13, basically probably to your team right now. You know, it was a win, and it was part of you running 2 years in a row undefeated in the Hoosier Crossroad Conference. But, you know, from what you guys played last week, I think that you were honed in and focused on the task at hand.
Yeah. Well, HSE is a great program with an excellent coach and coaching staff. I think the game was closer than that. I'm not sure that that's the right score. I think we maybe beat them by 13, but they were. It certainly felt closer. They were up 14-7 at one point, and it was a tight game for a while. We had a fortunate score on a blocked punt. You know, You don't always get those. I think it's going to be a great game. I expect it to be pretty tight. So whatever happened last time, that both teams have gotten better and improved. I certainly feel like we have. We have some guys that didn't play that are back now, and I'm sure they have some new wrinkles and things, and they'll be ready for us. And we have to have a great week of practice and make sure we're ready for them. So we're looking forward to it, though.
Whatever the score is, it's going to be different.
It's going. Yeah, we're not so worried about that.
I'm sure I read that.
It's two physical football teams, and it's probably going to come down to who can win that battle and out-hit the other team.
Yeah, the one thing about it is they have a very good running game. Blaine Wirtz is very, very
outstanding
running back, and I think in that first game that you guys played, I think he gained 60 yards and 18 carries. So you held him down because he had a great Friday night against Fisher. So
yeah,
he's ready, and now they have a transfer there by Owens that. Another very good running back,
yeah.
So they're kind of a...
Well, Blaine Wirtz ripped us as a sophomore, first time I'd ever seen him, and that was his first game of the year, I think, and he killed us in that game, and so believe me, we still remember. So he's an outstanding player, I think, terrific. They do a great job using the tight end and H and wing positions, and they do very well. And then, yeah, the move in, I just think he's a spark. Last week it was a close game with Fishers, and he ran a kickoff back, and later had a 50-yard touchdown. And I feel like he just kind of gives them a little bit of a spark on offense and a catalyst. But then the part that, known commodities there, but I really believe that Jacobs has improved as a quarterback. He is super fast and very dangerous as a runner. But I just think their team has improved, and I would give a lot of that credit to the growth of the quarterback. I think that's pretty instrumental in any team that gets better, but these guys in particular, I feel like his growth has coincided with their growth. He's playing well, really well.
Well, as you know, and the success that you've had here, you have a lot of great quarterbacks, but a lot of great teams here, but it starts at the quarterback position.
Sure.
You've got to have a good quarterback, and with the stats, I read the stats this morning, and Maximus is now up to 72% completion rate. And that's
he was 7 for 7 last week in the rain and averaged 13 yards a carry. So I'm not sure we can ask much more than that. But he's a special talent for sure. Great kid.
And usually, if it's anything like I know he's probably thinking a little bit about last season, and he really come on in the playoffs and was a huge difference maker.
Well, last season Micah went down, and Jack Pfeiffer had COVID for a couple weeks, and so we were without a running back really, and so we pieced it together. But we won a couple playoff games with Maximus as essentially our running back and quarterback, and we did what we had to do, and he willed us to victory. Hopefully we'll have a little more support for him this year, but we certainly intend on using him.
And Coach, early in the season, and we talked about this defense that you have. I mean, you have a very good defense. Let's talk about a few of those players, because they've really stepped up defensively. I mean, to me, sometimes the offense hasn't really been challenged as much as they were last year, because you have such a good defense.
Yeah, we've just done a great job keeping the ball in front of us. Played pretty good run defense overall. We've bent but not broken. We have not gotten the takeaways that we've gotten in the past, which means we've been on the field more. However, in all other areas, we've been just as good or better. Last week, Vance Farrar was player of the game for us going against that Noblesville rushing offense. He played great at defensive tackle, but we've gotten pretty strong play out of he and Dalen and William Goodvine, and those guys have been stout. And then our linebackers, getting McGuire Graybill back that's just been a great shot in the arm for our team. And he's continuing to heal and improve every week on his injury. And I think the better he gets, the better we'll get. With Tyler Dykus and Charlie Dager, those two junior linebackers, they've been exceptional. And so I feel like that's helped to stop the run. And as long as we can continue to do that, we feel like we're very strong at safety with Dylan Thieneman and Micah Hauser. So, if we can keep the run from just gobbling us up Friday night with Blaine Wirtz and co., then I think that gives us a much, much better chance to win the game because we're pretty strong in the back end.
Yeah, and you know the one thing, and Coach Kelly mentioned this yesterday in the first game, that many of the offensive plays that they ran on the offensive side, they were always started normally inside the 20, where you guys were 30 plus. And field positions were in 6A football, and when you got two good teams like that, field position is huge.
Yeah, totally. I think especially with two good defenses, you know, if the team's going to have to drive the length of the field, that's going to be pretty tough against either of these defenses. So the kicking game, turnovers, things like that are going to really, really matter. More games are lost than are won. So if you don't just give them the ball in great field position, you trust your defense. I'm sure they feel the same way. So that's where, you know, getting a lucky score or setting up a score with some kind of field position swing, it certainly can lead to victory, especially against a great team, because their defense isn't going to let you just march it every time.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. I know this week of sectional championship play is a very, very busy week. On the way over here, our owner Jim Wofford called me and said that we will be Hamilton County TV will be broadcasting your game on Friday night with Southeastern. So we're really excited about getting the opportunity to do that one more time. Because the Indiana High School Athletic Association now, it's a lot different in who gets to broadcast and who doesn't get to broadcast. It's their decision. So we're very excited that they're going to allow us to broadcast this game.
Well, so happy to have you. You've just been such a great partner, and every time that you broadcast, I get good feedback, and people look forward to your broadcasts. And so, you know, we have a lot of relatives and friends and former players, honestly, that, you know, they can't be at the game, and you give them access to follow the Rocks. So we are very grateful.
All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate it, and thank you very much, and good luck this week.
Thank you. Go Rocks.